So Arsenal are through to their first Champions League semi-final since 2009, a very, very mature performance from the Gunners in the Bernabeu. There are a few factors that they could have let get to them quite easily. Obviously Real Madrid doing all that build-up in the week, trying to rattle the Arsenal players and the Arsenal fans. They didn't let it get to them. Obviously Saka had that missed penalty earlier on. It could have let him affect his confidence. He didn't. He came back, he scored that first goal and pretty much killed the tie there and then. Just a very, very mature performance from everybody in that Arsenal team. They really seem like they came into their own. Even ones like Lewis Skelly, 18 years of age, going to the Bernabeu and putting in a performance like that, shutting out the likes of Bellingham and Rodrigo and the like. Just a very, very classy performance from a kid who's performing well beyond his age. He's just been absolutely. He's been a revelation, and that kid is going to go on to do really, really great things. Mikel Merino, proving the doubters wrong week by week. I've got to be honest, I was one of those ones. I thought it was a lucky cameo against Leicester initially, and then he had a couple of dodgy games. I thought it was one of those things that, okay, it worked once, but last few games he has been absolutely magnificent in that false nine role. Got 2 assists last night, and is proving to be a very, very key member of this Arsenal team. Mikel Arteta has had an absolute masterstroke putting him in. It might have been one of those sort of blessing in disguise kind of things, but Merino has performed impeccably in that role, and hopefully for him that continues into the end of the season. And I think for Gabriel Martinelli to have that moment in the Bernabeu, he struggled for form this year, struggled for confidence. He hasn't looked like the same player that we all thought he was going to be when he initially came through, but having that moment where he ran in on goal, finished it beautifully the tie was dead by then, but to kill it stone dead, and have that moment in the Bernabeu against Real Madrid could be such a pivotal moment for his career. Maybe, giving him that goal in a big occasion might finally sort of turn his form around, and he can regain that confidence that he so desperately needs. Another player of the match award for Declan Rice, absolutely phenomenal in both legs, this time in more of a defensive role, but he handled that Real Madrid midfield superbly. And I feel like Arsenal should pay West Ham another 100 million because he has been an absolute steal. He has added so much to that Arsenal midfield, just character and tenacity that they've been lacking for such a long time. And yeah, Declan Rice, just what a player. And Jurrien Timber, again, had another fantastic game. That man just doesn't drop below a 7. He is just Mr. Consistency, never puts in a bad performance. He's just very, very solid. Will never be like the outstanding player, will never be like the star player, but his quality doesn't drop. He's always at least a 7 or 8 out of 10, and that's such a vital asset for this Arsenal squad to have. So what does this do for Arsenal's Champions League chances? To be perfectly honest, I'd still put them as third favourites behind PSG and Barcelona. Both of those teams have been exceptionally strong this year, particularly PSG, who look a very, very well organised unit and play some fantastic football. You can't rule out Inter Milan either. They tend to go under the radar all the time, but they've been a very strong team for about 3 or 4 years now, so you really can't rule them out. I think it's going to be a fascinating Final Four this year because I think all 4 teams are genuinely within a shout of winning it. I really don't think you can call it. It's going to be quite close between them. So yeah, it's going to be a very, very fascinating semi-final. But Arsenal have made a massive statement. I know this Real Madrid team aren't the same Real Madrid team that won the Champions League last year, but it's a massive, massive statement going toe-to-toe against a big club and coming out on the other side as victors. Is going to go a long way to enhancing Arsenal's reputation in Europe as they head towards the Final Four. But yeah, it's going to be a very, very close call. Like I say, I'd have Barca and PSG as the 2 favourites, but you can make a case for all 4 of them. I think it's going to be really, really fascinating. So yeah, that's my take on Arsenal's victory over Real Madrid, what it means for the overall competition. Thank you very much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, please consider leaving a like on there for me. If you're new around here and you like what you see, why not get subscribed so you can be notified of future videos like this one. Comment below any thoughts and suggestions that you may have. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time.